ordinance with a provision of death penalty for rape promulgated with immediate effect. Death penalty, along with life imprisonment, introduced to protect women from rape, says Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina at a program marking International Day for Disaster Risk Reduction 2020. More than 17,000 helpless people get disaster-resilient homes. No one to remain homeless in Mujibia, says Prime Minister. Bangladesh-India relations written in blood, says Information Minister Dr. Hassan Mahmood. US President Donald Trump back on the campaign trail immediately after recovery from coronavirus. And Argentina to face Bolivia in the Qatar World Cup football qualifier tonight. Assalamu alaikum, I'm Nafis Imtiazuddin, welcoming you to News at 10 on BTV, BTV World and BTV Chattogram Centre. You've heard the headlines, we have details of those and other stories coming up. Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina termed the rapists as beasts, and so the government has introduced a provision of death sentence into the related law to protect the girls from these beasts. The rapists are beasts and girls are affected due to this beastly act of some so-called people. That's why the government has amended the relevant law in the cabinet by keeping a provision of a capital punishment for rape. The Prime Minister said this while addressing a program marking the International Day for Disaster Risk Reduction 2020. The Ministry of Disaster Management and Relief arranged the function at Usmani Memorial Auditorium. The Prime Minister joined the function from Gonobhobun. At the function, the Prime Minister inaugurated 17,000 newly built disaster-resilient houses, an induction of volunteers, and unveiled the cover of the book of Standing Orders of a Disaster. The theme of this year's International Day for Disaster Risk Reduction 2020 is Disaster Risk Governance. The theme for Bangladesh has been fixed: good governance in reducing disaster risk, ensuring sustainable development.
ধর্ষণ একটা আমি বলবো যে মানুষ হয়তো পশু হয়ে যায়, সেই জন্যই তাদের মধ্যে এই যে পাশবিকতা, তার ফলে আজকে আমাদের মেয়েরা ক্ষতিগ্রস্ত। সেই জন্য আমরা এই আইনটি সংশোধন করে আমরা এখানে ধর্ষণ করলে সেখানে যাবজ্জীবনের সাথে মৃত্যুদণ্ড দিয়ে ইতিমধ্যে আমরা ক্যাবিনেটে সেই আইন পাস করে দিয়েছি। ব্যক্তি মানুষও ভূমিহীন থাকবে না, গৃহহীন থাকবে না। আমরা জানি যে এবার বন্যাটা খুব ব্যাপকভাবে আমাদের নদী ভাঙন সৃষ্টি করেছে। এই নদী ভাঙনের কারণে বহু মানুষ গৃহহারা হয়ে গেছে, কিন্তু এটা আমাদের নির্দেশ রয়েছে যে যারা গৃহহারা প্রত্যেককে ঘর তৈরি করে দিতে হবে। যাদের ভিটামাটি নাই, চলে গেছে, তাদের জমি কিনে ঘর তৈরি আমরা করে দেব।
State Minister of the Ministry of Disaster Management and Relief, Dr. Muhammad Inamur Rahman, presided over the program, while Chairman of the Parliamentary Standing Committee on Disaster Management and Relief Ministry, A.B. Tajul Islam, and Disaster Management and Relief Secretary Muhammad Masin spoke. The government has issued a gazette notification of Women and Children Repression Prevention Amendment Ordinance 2020, keeping a provision of death as maximum punishment for rape. The Ministry of Law, Justice and Parliamentary Affairs issued the gazette notification in this regard today. The ordinance comes into effect from today. Earlier, President Mohammad Abdul Hamid signed the ordinance. The President has issued the ordinance as the Jatiyo সংসদ is not in session. As per the Constitution, the ordinance will be passed in the Parliament once the House goes into session. Meanwhile, people of different walks of life and profession have greeted and welcomed the law. The Awami League government has been showing a zero tolerance to all kinds of violence against women since it came to power. And it is working to bring social crimes like rapes and violence against women to zero. The government has toughened its stance following some rape incidents that occurred recently. The Cabinet on Monday approved a capital punishment for rapists following Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina's humanitarian and timely initiatives. Youth of the country say the Prime Minister's humanitarian steps will play a vital role in resisting social crimes. The law, with the provision of death for rape, has drawn a wide range of coverage in the international media as well. Legal experts and people of different walks of life and profession stressed the need for proper execution of the law and quick disposal of lawsuits to stop rapes. They also place emphasis on positive thinking and outlook of people about women. This law will ensure justice alongside resisting social crimes. Language movement veteran Ahmed Rafiq has greeted the epoch-making step of Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina. He said the country will be free from heinous crimes like rape once the amended law is executed properly alongside quick implementation of the verdicts. Information Minister Dr. Hassan Mahmood has said relations between Bangladesh and India are very deep, multifaceted and actually written in blood. He was speaking to journalists after newly appointed Indian High Commissioner to Bangladesh, Bikram Kumar. Responding to queries from reporters, Dr. Hassan Mahmood hoped that crimes relating to women and repression would come down because of the amendment to the law. Regarding BNP's statements, the Information Minister raised questions saying didn't they like the amendment to the law?
সরকার যে কোনো ধরনের এই ধরনের ধর্ষণের শাস্তি সর্বোচ্চ শাস্তি মৃত্যুদণ্ড রেখে আইন সংশোধন করেছে। কারণ আপনারা জানেন বাংলাদেশে একসময় অ্যাসিড নিক্ষেপ বেড়ে গিয়েছিল। যখন সেটির কঠোর শাস্তির বিধান রেখে আইন হলো তখন কিন্তু অ্যাসিড নিক্ষেপ কমে গেছে। তো একইভাবে আইন সংশোধন করে সর্বোচ্চ শাস্তির বিধান রাখার প্রেক্ষিতে আমরা মনে করি যে এই ধরনের অপরাধও অনেক কমে যাবে। এবং এটি শুধুমাত্র আইন সংশোধন করার মধ্যেই আমাদের কর্মকাণ্ড আমরা সীমাবদ্ধ রাখবো না। আমরা জানি যে বিচার যাতে দ্রুত হয় সেটির উপরও সরকার গুরুত্ব আরোপ করছে। এছাড়াও সামাজিক যোগাযোগ মাধ্যম এবং এন্টারটেইনমেন্ট প্ল্যাটফর্মগুলোতে যেভাবে আমাদের দেশের কৃষ্টি সংস্কৃতি এবং আমাদের সমাজের যে ধরনের মূল্যবোধ সেগুলোর সাথে সাংঘর্ষিক এবং অনেক ক্ষেত্রে পর্নোর কাছাকাছি যে সমস্ত কন্টেন্ট আপ করা হয় সেগুলো কিন্তু এই ব্যাধিকে ছড়ানোর ক্ষেত্রে একটা ভূমিকা রাখছে বলে আমরা মনে করি। সেগুলোর ব্যাপারে আমরা কঠোর ব্যবস্থা গ্রহণ করব।
Candidates of Dhaka 18 parliamentary constituency by-election have submitted their nomination papers to the returning officer. Awami League candidate Mohammad Habib Hassan also submitted his nomination paper today on the last day of submission. Dhaka 18 parliamentary constituency declared vacant following the death of advocate Shahara Khatun. Meanwhile, a chief election commissioner K.M. Nurul Huda has said no election date will be deferred due to the corona situation. He said this while talking to journalists at the Election Commission Secretariat in the capital today. Election Commissioners Mohammad Rafiqul Islam, Kobita Khanum and Brigadier General retired Shahadat Hussain Chaudhry, among others, were present on the occasion. The government has urged all concerned to refrain from each and every kind of negative propaganda through social media This to protect the image of the country. In a handout today, the government said action will be taken against those found involved with spreading propaganda on social media. The handout said it had been noticed recently that untrue, fabricated, misleading and provocative statements about the government, public representatives, the army officers, police officers and members of the law enforcement agencies were being spread through various social media, and that is why the government has placed such a request to the public. The government has patiently observed these activities of the propagandists and their collaborators and come to the conclusion that in order to maintain stability and internal law and order in the country and in the public interest, urgent legal action needed to be taken against the perpetrators so that the existing peaceful environments of the country could continue without raising hatred in the minds of the people. 22 COVID-19 patients died during the last 24 hours in the country, increasing the death toll from the pandemic to 5,577. The recovery count, on the other hand, rose to 2,95,873 after 1,482 people recovered during the same period. A press release of the Directorate General of Health Services said today, it said the tally of infections had risen to 3,81,274, with these 1,537 new cases being confirmed. And now on to international news. COVID-19 global death toll now 10,86,000, with more than 3,81,16,000 people infected. On the other hand, more than 2,86,44,000 people have actually recovered so far. The US, still the epicenter of the pandemic, has now 80,38,000 confirmed cases and 2,20,000 deaths. India, which is second on the list of nations worst hit by the coronavirus, has now 71,77,783 confirmed cases and 1,09,917 deaths. In Brazil, the total death toll from COVID-19 is 1,50,709, while 51,03,408 people have been infected. US President Donald Trump has returned to the campaign trail less than 2 weeks after testing positive for COVID-19. On Monday, he was addressing his supporters, few of whom wore masks, in the battleground state of Florida. His rival, Joe Biden, speaking in Ohio, accused the president of reckless behavior ever since his diagnosis. The two presidential candidates are scrambling to secure votes with 3 weeks until the 3rd of November election. Opinion polls suggest Biden has a 10-point lead over Trump nationally. Battleground are Florida and Ohio. These are crucial for gathering the 270 electoral college votes needed to win the White House, which is not determined by simple popular ballot count. Bangladesh Research Institute, Livestock Research Institute, has developed a commercial layer chicken breed named Shubra for the first time in the country. Shubra lays 280 to 295 eggs a year, which is the result of research of 15 years. Shubra is capable of laying eggs just like the imported layer chickens from abroad. The government initiative to reduce import dependence in the layer sector was taken almost a decade and a half ago. It was started by the hands of Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina. Following this, 4 chicken germ plasma were first collected from Japan in 1999. After 15 years, Bangladesh Livestock Research Institute developed this new layer chicken breed named Shubra. This breed of hen starts laying eggs from the age of 19 weeks. At present, the country's layer sector is import-based. It costs about 50 to 60 lakh US dollars per year. The people concerned hope if production of this layer variety in the country itself could be increased, developed and expanded with state patronage, then chickens could be given to farmers at low prices, reducing imports. South Korea has expressed its determination to work with Bangladesh in joint venture for ensuring digital economy and cybersecurity. This was stated at a meeting by South Korean Ambassador to Bangladesh, Lee Jang-kyun, with State Minister for Information and Communication Technology, Junaid Ahmed Poluk, in Dhaka today. Among others, Senior Secretary of the Information and Communication Technology Division, LM Ziaul Alam, and high officials of the ministry were present on the occasion. Junaid Ahmed Poluk said South Korea would assist in dealing with coronavirus and the aftermath of the situation in Bangladesh. Now, news from the world of sport. Argentina face Bolivia in the Qatar World Cup 2022 qualifying match in the South American region tonight. The match will kick off at 2 a.m. Bangladesh Standard Time. Uruguay will take on Ecuador in the other match of the qualifying round at 3 a.m. Bangladesh Standard Time. Brazil will play against Peru at 6 a.m. Bangladesh Standard Time, while Chile will face Colombia at 6:30 a.m. Mahmudullah 11 defeated Tamim 11 by 5 wickets in the BTV President's Cup cricket tournament second match today. Tamim 11 batted first, were all out for 103 runs in 23 overs and 1 ball at Mirpur Sher-e-Bangla National Stadium. In reply, Mahmudullah 11 reached their victory target and scored 106 runs for just 5 wickets in 27 overs. Nurul Hassan Shohan was unbeaten on 41 runs, while Mominul Haq scored 39 runs for his team. And now, before we end the news, let's take a look at what's making the headlines here. Ordinance with provision of death penalty for rape promulgated with immediate effect. Death penalty along with life imprisonment introduced to protect women from rape, says Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina at program marking International Day for Disaster Risk Reduction 2020. More than 17,000 homeless people get disaster-resilient homes. No one to remain homeless in Mujib year, says Prime Minister. Bangladesh-India relations written in blood, says Information Minister Dr. Hassan Mahmood. US President Donald Trump back on the election campaign trail immediately after recovery from COVID-19. And Argentina to face Bolivia in Qatar World Cup football qualifier tonight. And that's all from the newsroom for the moment. Thank you for joining us. We invite you to watch our news again at 11:30, and that's going to be in Bangla. Until then, Khuda Hafiz.